Welcome back to another episode of Projecting Grandeur. I am your host, Ron Dichter. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everyone for being part of this community of ours. We are trying to make entrepreneurs better, and anything that I can do to give whatever wisdom rattles around inside of my brain to an entrepreneur who's disrupting, innovating, taking the risk to make this world better, let's go. I want to talk today about you. And seeing as that it's early in 2026, you're probably knee deep in your goals or resolutions or whatever it is you're making. I want to talk about the promise that you need to keep to you. And what's funny is if you are a good entrepreneur and a good salesperson or business development person, you've probably become really great at convincing people of your viewpoint. And that includes yourself. And this is a very dangerous thing if you don't understand and recognize it, because we do a really great job as entrepreneurs of holding our commitments and our promises to our prospective clients, our current clients, our team, our employees, our investors. But we're really easy at fooling ourselves and lying to ourselves. And so as we get into the new year and you set out to do whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it's personal goals to become better, whether you want to join me in the 4 a.m. club and start working out every day and get your physical life, whatever it is, you have to make sure that those promises and commitments that you make to yourself, you keep. And the way that you do that is you hold yourself accountable just like you would anyone else on your team, right? We've talked a lot about success planning. We've talked about tracking the metrics that make you successful. We've talked a lot about these things that are the foundational things. But in order to, have full belief in the promises you make to yourself, you have to believe them, right? You have to believe why you're doing them. You have to believe the point to them. And just like anyone else, like you've got to be able to overcome adversity. I've talked about this in past episodes where, you're only as good as your worst day. And I've gone to the gym many times where I'm just like, I don't want to do this. In fact, I had one of those this weekend. I was doing leg day and I was just not in the mood. And I said, you know what, you're going to fight through, you're going to make this work. And I had a good workout, but I just simply had to, fight through. So you're not alone, right? This is a normal thing, to convince yourself like, it's okay if I stop doing this because of this, or it's okay if, my goal changes because of this. Like you almost sell yourself into this, paradigm that it's okay for you to have compromising or you to compromise on your goals. Yet, would you allow your team to do that? Would you allow your customers? Would you allow anyone inside of your organization to, change their goals just because it's hard or because you don't want to that day? Like you have to really build that trust in yourself. You have to keep that commitment and that promise to yourself. And you have to be realistic, right? We all have bad days. We all have bad moments. But when you start lying to yourself, you start going down that path of then what else can you lie to? And it's not lying in your mind. You're just convincing yourself that this thing that I set out to do, well, maybe it's important, but I got this other thing that's more pressing, so I'm going to go do this. I don't know. Like for me, one of those examples would be, the difference between being busy and being effective. Like I've got a million busy work things that I could do in a day, just like all of you. Like we have a lot of things that take our time, but those aren't necessarily things that are going to necessarily move the needle forward. And so as I've talked about in prior episodes, I try to do the hard stuff early. My brain's motivated. I just got done with my 4 a.m. workout, had my smoothie, like I'm ready to go. Like that's when I do the hard stuff. And then when my brain putters out and I'm like getting a little bit, fizzling, that's when I go to the busy work that doesn't require as much thought. So the promises that you're making need to be promises that you keep. And I'm not just talking about the external ones. I'm talking on this show about the internal ones. Don't lie to yourself. Keep the commitments that you made, know why you made them in the first place, and don't second guess yourself when it gets hard. I know you're so busy picking everybody else up, but pick yourself up. We got to make this year awesome. And the only way we're going to do it is if we hold ourselves accountable. We don't lie to ourselves about our own personal goals, and we have to commit to them. So the hardest part, it's really easy to tell others and lift others up, but you got to lift yourself up. This is how we're going to get this year going. So get out there, lift yourself up, be honest with yourself, don't lie to yourself, and hold yourself accountable to the same standards that you will hold anyone that works for you to. I'm Ron Dichter. This is Projecting Grandeur. Please remember to subscribe. We put out 5 episodes per week. You don't want to miss any. Don't forget to like and comment, and most importantly, share. Share with a buddy. Have a great day, everyone.